Hey yo! Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Flashpoint, Emperor Aquaman. Number one! Take a look at this comic cover right here, and a beautiful comic cover at that. Now, when it comes down to big comic book crossover events, I usually don't pick up the spin-off slash satellite comics. Why? Because I feel as though with this big crossover event, I'm going to get all the information I need from the actual main event comic. There are exceptions, mind you. For example, like the OMAC project is something that definitely should be read with the Infinite Crisis. But those few exceptions are far in between. However, with Final Crisis, I decided to take a different approach. For a few reasons. One is, I'm buying everything in individual issues now, so I think psychologically, I feel as though I'm paying less for these side issues than if I actually picked them up in trade. That, and I'm buying them over a span of time, and I'm not paying a big, large bulk at once. Again, I think this is all psychological. Second, is because Flashpoint's universe is so rich with this interesting and unique world where Aquaman and Wonder Woman are clashing heads with each other, and it just seems really cool, and we're not really getting that universe in the main title. I mean, they dip into it a little bit here and there, but I feel as though with Flashpoint's own universe, I'm going to have to divulge into the side titles, the spin-off titles, the satellite issues, to really understand what's going on, to really enjoy this new atmosphere and universe. Lastly, because it's Aquaman and he is freaking awesome. Aquaman gets a huge bad rap from comic book fans and just people in general. Why? Well, I blame the Super Friends. And rightfully so, Super Friends Aquaman was a complete joke. But that was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Aquaman has been a badass this last 20 years. Ever since the 90s, Aquaman has really turned into a complete barbaric, awesome badass who just kicks everyone's ass whenever he needs to. And I feel as though that his mistreatment in the comic book world is just so unjust. More unjust than some other comic book characters. And I love Aquaman. I mean, granted his name is a little corny, Aquaman. But I mean, if you think about it, a lot of superheroes' names are corny. Superman, Spider-Man, the Human Torch, Batman. I mean, comic book names in general have a little campy feel to them, so I guess I can let Aquaman's name slide. But the thing I'm trying to get across is Aquaman is a complete badass, and what's so interesting about this world's Aquaman is the fact that in general, Aquaman's a badass, but now he let loose. Now he's kind of bad. He's a little darker. He's a king that's weighed heavy with his decisions in the war that he's in. So he's not going to hold back when he's fighting. And that, for me, is something that's incredibly interesting and something that I think could really reel in people to Aquaman as a character. I know Aquaman's going to be relaunched with the rest of the 52 titles coming this September, and Jeff Johns is going to be at the helm of the comic. And while that will get people to read it, I think people should definitely divulge into this Emperor Aquaman to really see how dangerous and how badass Aquaman can really be. So with that said, let's actually jump into how badass Aquaman really is in this comic. Or at least how badass he could be. Emperor Aquaman really does paint out exactly what this world is like in Flashpoint. At least a little bit more than it did in Flashpoint number 1 and number 2. See, Aquaman and Wonder Woman had an alliance of sorts. However, that went sour. Really sour. So sour that they started to clash heads and a big war erupted. There were assassinations here, murders here, and alliances here and there. It got so bad that Aquaman actually had to team up with Markovonia's king, who is actually Geoforce in the regular DC universe. Although he's also the king of Markovonia in the regular DC universe. We also find out that Terra, former member of the Teen Titans, is still alive and working for the Amazons. However, Aquaman proves that he needs to do anything and everything possible to win this war. And something we find out within the first page is that he actually sinks Rome. Yes, he actually sinks Rome. If that's not badass, I don't know what is. But the question is this. See that Aquaman is weighed heavy with his decisions, and he has turned into this new king that is willing to do anything and everything to win this war for his people. Exactly how far will Aquaman go to do those actions, to win this war, to be the victor? And there's a little twist at the end that leads into the next issue that I want you guys to read and enjoy. So let's get into the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Good. Well, like I said, this really does paint out Aquaman as kind of a badass, more so than usual, because it's Aquaman with no restraints. It's like, what would ever happen if Batman had no kill rule? I mean, he actually had the no kill rule. He would go out and kill people. That really sounded redundant, the no kill rule. But he actually allowed himself to kill people. Batman would be ridiculously unstoppable. Imagine if Superman had that he would just kill people on sight. It would be murderously devastating. And Aquaman, without any restraints, is just that. He floods Rome. If that isn't dangerous, badass, and intimidating all in one, I don't know what is. So I like the approach they're taking with Aquaman. They're not making him just outright bad and evil. He's a character that has really actually gone through a lot of traumatical stuff, specifically with his family, which is something I'm not going to jump into too much, but it shapes Aquaman's perception of the world. I also like the fact that they're bringing Markovonia in and they're using that country and the people from it, Geoforce and Terra, as characters in this war that's going on. So I do like the little interactions there. The costume design is actually pretty cool. I don't like the lines on the side of the legs. If you can actually see the costume there. There's lines on the side of the legs. I don't care for that. And the trident is actually quite small. But besides that, the costume looks actually pretty badass, pretty intimidating, and very warlike. So the costume and the designs that they're doing, and the art in general, is really good for this. Bad. Well, we know Aquaman is a badass in this, but we really don't get to see enough of him being a badass. You know, you don't really see him go into hand-to-hand combat with everyone. It's just more or less him making decisions that drastically affects the world. Alliances, decisions to flood cities, and just on a whole, him being a king. We don't actually see Aquaman go into combat. I'm really hoping that at the end of this series, or the end of the Wonder Woman series, that there's a conflict between the two. An actual fight between the two. Aquaman versus Wonder Woman. And see who will come up on top. But other than that, there really was no bad. I have to say I enjoyed this a lot more than I enjoyed the Batman spinoff. And I have to say, out of all the spinoffs there is, I'm looking forward to this one the most. Even though Batman's my favorite character and Wonder Woman's my second favorite character, and I will still be getting their spin-offs, Aquaman really just stands out so nicely in this universe. And I think it's for the reasons that I said beforehand. It's the fact that the character can really let loose and you can do some outrageous stuff with him before the actual relaunch of the titles. Do I recommend picking up Emperor Aquaman? Well, like I said in the Batman review, it really comes down to if you want to pick up the spin-off titles of Flashpoint. However, seeing that I did read this after Batman Dark Knight of Vengeance, I will have to say that this is definitely better. And if you're going to pick something up that's going to shape the Flashpoint universe, it should be this issue. I have not read the Wonder Woman spinoff yet. I don't believe it's out yet. But when I do see it, I will pick it up. So Emperor Aquaman. It's good, it's fun, and it's just kind of a guilty pleasure. So with that said, I'm going to end this review here. Emperor Aquaman. All hail the king. Pick him up. Peace out for now.